and a problem that will not have a solution. So I believe every problem has solution, and I don't see anything as a mountain sort of. So I believe it's possible, I can do it, and so I have that mind for my primary school days.
Okay, now how do you describe the level of involvement?
The level of the involvement of female in engineering
Yes.
is changing drastically, or more female now in the field of engineering. Those days that we say engineering is masculine field, is a
Male dominated.
male-dominated field. Engineering is, as a female, what do you want to go and do there? Gone are those days. We have more female now in engineering than before because of, let me say, courtesy of several awareness program all around, courtesy of APOEN, Association of Professional Women
Engineers in
Nigeria. So courtesy of all those enlightenment and civilization. So we have more female in the field of engineering now.
Then when it comes to catch them young, do you also still embark on catching them young, especially female undergraduates, probably in their secondary schools? Do you engage in catch them young just to encourage them to be like you in the future?
Yes, there are so many programs I involve myself in ensuring we catch them young. And right from any opportunity I have to meet younger ones, and by the time you introduce yourself as an engineer, that one alone, people want to say, you're female, so how do you do it? Sharing personal experience with them and encouraging them, creating the passion to love mathematics, that it's not difficult, and all those subjects, science-based subjects that people look at as if they are things we do to ensure that we catch them young. I want to also use this time also to tell my viewers, the younger ones, that engineering is for you. It's not difficult. Mathematics, I tell people, I say mathematics is in everyday application, day-to-day life. Day-to-day life. You want to go out, you calculate, it's mathematics. You want to even sweep your house, it's mathematics that will make it neat and clean. And you will not miss out any aspect. So it's mathematics. You want to eat, it's mathematics that will help you not to pour the whole thing on your body. So it's mathematics, it's interesting.
Even the process of lifting the spoon is calculation.
Is calculation. So with that understanding, it makes it simpler, and creating that passion and interest that you can do it is not as difficult as it is.
If you just tuned in, the program is Engineering and You, courtesy the nation's mother station, OGBC 90.5 FM. Our guest on this edition of the program is Engineer Dr. Grace Amusan, who happens to be the head of the department, Civil Engineering Department at the Olabisi Odobanjo University, Ago Ipoye. Engineer Amusan, now you just talked about calculation and all sorts. Can anything mathematics or calculation be taken away from engineering?
You can't separate mathematics from engineering or calculation generally. You can't separate. It's the heart of engineering. Calculation is the heart of engineering. You want to do the design, you need to calculate. Because more of the design we do in engineering, they are calculation. But I want to say they are not difficult calculation.
Now, the other time you were telling us about you going to the fields and encouraging the younger ones to, like, okay, there's no fear in mathematics. Maybe you just share with them in just few seconds how you were able to conquer the fear of mathematics. Because sometimes when we hear people say mathematics, the next thing is exclamation, ah. When you hear that means it's something that is not easy for you to overcome. But how were you able to conquer the fear of mathematics during your own time so that they can tap from that and they say Engineer Amusan was able to do that? I should be able to do this as well.
Yes. The number one thing is start from the simplest, then move gradually. I used to say that if you want to climb a stair and you say you want to jump to the last step, there is no way you will stumble or fall. So you start gradually from a step to the other. So mathematics or any work that has to do with calculation is about moving from one step to the other.
Zero.
So you don't jump steps. And another thing that helps is continual practice. Is if you have a mathematics exam tomorrow, you can sleep today and still have A in mathematics. What, how do I mean? You don't start the work of mathematics a day to exam. You have been working. So when you have a mathematics exam, you just relax because everything is already settled.
So it's a step by step thing. Okay, 0803 437 9453. 0803 437 9453. Do you have any question for our guest, or do you want to corroborate any of the points that the guest have raised on the program? Please do that by calling our studio lines 0803 437 9453. Engineer, I'm sure you belong to the civil engineering family out of the three roots of engineering, civil engineering, and you are in the academic. How do you describe the global market for female engineers who are trained in Nigeria? From the word trained in Nigeria, female engineers, that's the market for them.
Let me say that I'm proud of Nigerian education.
Hmm.
Yes. And I'm proud to be a Nigerian. I'm proud of Nigerian education. I'm proud to be Nigerian. Nigerian education, we may not have everything, but what we have is sufficient enough to compete maximally with the global world, to compete in the marketplace. In fact, there are so many feedback that our engineers.
Sorry to bolt in, we have a caller on the line. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. This is Adagba. I first want to greet my teacher, engineer Mrs. Dr. Amusan. This is Adagba. He's one of our students from Apoli.
Ajaba.
A well-known person should have very well.
Good evening. Good
Yes,
evening.
we are with you, please.
So I want to greet her. Actually, I did not follow the program.
Okay.
But from our conversation that mathematics is something that is simple. So that's one thing exactly brought my attention to the program, that this is what exactly Enjamusha used to say during our school time. So I want to greet her and I want to testify to what she's saying, that that is the way she used to tell us during our days in school.
So engineering to you is mathematics to you is just like rice and beans, I guess.
Yeah, actually, from advice, we find that it's something that is very simple due to continual practice, as she has said.
So how has the field been to you now, being an engineer and being under our tutelage? How has it been so far? You as a person from where you are, how have you been operating owing to the fact that you have tapped from a wealth of experience?
I can't get your question very well, sir.
Okay, I said, how have you been faring in the market and you being a student under Dr. Amusan?
Yes, sir.
Then how has it been? How has life been generally to you?
Fine. Actually, we are doing well. She's aware of some of things that we have been. Sometimes when we have challenges, she's one of the persons that we used to call in other needs, just to, to gain more experience from our after.
Okay. Kudos to you, Dr. Amusan. That is another testifier that you're actually doing good now. Yes. Do you want to make any comment about that? About your students who you actually taught that mathematics is not something that is that's dreadful.
As my students generally, they are doing well. My students are doing well. When it comes to calculations, just in most of the courses I normally take in school, they are more of calculations. So they are doing well. And by the grace of God, when I teach them, they come to find it more simple. And many of them have come to compete with their counterparts, and they are shown
They're doing fine.
excellent.
Hmm. Okay, now, like I was about to ask a question the other time about civil engineering family. You are in the academic. How do you describe the global market for female engineers who are trained in Nigeria? You were saying something about to round up on that question.
Yes, I was saying that we may not have everything,
Okay.
but the little we have in the country, we are making use of them. The opportunity, the every knowledge that we have, we are making use of them. And Nigerian education actually build you up,
Hmm.
build you up to face life challenges of any kind. In engineering, when you come to the field of engineering at 100 level, the first year you are exposed to all courses. Both you take a little course in art, the art, you take a little course in science, and some mostly science based courses, and some art and entrepreneur. So they build you up, they build you up to face the life challenges. And at 200 level, you take courses that cut across all field of engineering, so you can actually fit in any area or field you find yourself as an engineer that is trained in Nigeria.
Okay, now, engineer, I guess what you just said now, there is no doubt that there are stiff competition in all professions that we have in our dear country. Now, do you think Nigerian female engineers can compete favorably with their counterparts across the globe?
Yes, the Nigerian female engineers can compete. I can say 100% we can compete. And
Now, do you still practice engineering alongside your busy schedule as an administrator? No, go to the field, maybe some practical things and all sorts. Do you still engage in that? That's like the fact that you are the head of department of a particular department in your university.
teach engineering without you perfectly, without you having the practical knowledge. Even as an academia, we take our students to site for experience. We take them for excursion, for experience, and there will still be some time you will have. When they know you are an engineer, you will have all these people call you from here and there to come and assist. So at the point of rendering assistance here and there, we practice engineering. So consultancy is part of the job.
I'm not surprised that you're also a consultant because when I was reading your CV the other time, I realized that you are equally a consultant. That will take me to this area about female engineers. Engineering in the past is seen as a profession for the male gender. Though we talked about it earlier on, but I want you to be still explicit about this. The narrative seems to be changing. Tell us your opinion about the interest of female in engineering, looking at it from the enrollment into the universities and polytechnics in Nigeria.
Now we have more female in the field.
Than the
It's
male,
not than the male,
for
but
appreciable number.
appreciable number.
Okay.
Uh, in those times, I remember when I was in during my undergraduate, in my own set, we were just six. But now we have sets in our institution that we have more than six in engineering.
That being so maybe you just mentioned that about 5 to 6 female were you morale that
Engineering field, and I want to say engineering patient.
wow.
Even right from when we were studying in school, the male engineering students also encourage, because when they see you as a female and you are in their midst studying, and some of them will even come and say, explain this to us.
Hmm. But how are the female engineers able to convince me for you and everything will be successful? Looking at it from the African side, how has the in contact to themselves?
May I tell you that female engineers are tested and proved.
Hmm.
In fact, many clients love to give their job, I mean the contract, to female engineer than male now, because they know female has passion to begin a thing and to want to see it to completion.
Hmm.
So with that, and they know when we say yes, we actually mean yes as female, because the integrity is there. So many people, I'm talking of what is actually in a system, and even my own interaction with a senior civil engineer who has been in the field attested to it that when they go to bid for a contract, bid for a contract between a female engineer and a male, when they bid for the same contract, the female, they are the one that win the
Wins the
contract.
contract.
So, and it's not because of anything, but because of the pedigree in handling the job.
Drive for results, and
Because
transparency.
you want to tell the world that you can do it. So, because of that, you want to assure accuracy, you want to assure timely delivery and everything.
Okay, if you just tuned in, Engineering and You is the program, although GVC 90.5 FM, probably you can still take one more call before we see our BYE on the show this lovely evening. Engineer Amusan, apart from engineering practice, what other things do you have passion for? And you are engaged in them alongside being an engineer. Do you have any extracurricular activities?
My hands are blessed. I'm into so many things, gifted by the grace of God, but I can't do everything. I know how to sew, courtesy of understanding of mathematics, so I
Wow.
can sew. At least I've sewn more clothes for myself.
Wow.
There was not, if not the time I was now busy with my work and some other activities. It's been long I've given my clothes to
So fashion
I
designers outside.
sew my own courtesy because I didn't go to any apprentice. I didn't go as apprentice to learn. I just developed interest that this thing is mathematics. When you want to cut a circle, I use spiral square. The same formula in mathematics, and I cut it, and it makes it.
Wow.
And so I feel, though I do a little reading, but the key aspect of cutting is mathematics.
So you don't commercialize that aspect of your fashion design.
So I will allow the people that major in it to have something to eat.
But specifically for yourself,
For myself, then
you
I
trained
have a
yourself.
female, a girl that I also sew for.
Wow, that is beautiful. Now, gradually, as we're coasting on this week's edition of the program, let us go to something personal. I want you to use yourself as a point of contact in this area. That what is that particular thing in your life that can motivate a young fellow to choose a career in engineering or in science?
Okay, I want to encourage the viewer outside there.
Yeah.
Is being strong, being your strength, the strength you have. You don't need to have all the strength
Or muscle, or physical, whatever.
but the inner strength you have within. Don't bury it. Bring it out to do something that can affect your world. And the other thing I would say is having passion to solve. The other thing I would say is having passion to solve problem. Don't just be going for people to solve problem for you, but you be a problem solver. So, and I want to encourage my viewer to choose career in engineering. The world will be looking for you because you'll be solving the problem for them.
The world will be looking for you because you're definitely going to be a problem solver. That is how we draw the curtains on this week's edition of the program. Engineering is how we draw the curtains on this week's edition of the program. Engineering and You on OGBC 90.5 FM. And special thanks to our guest on this week's edition of the program, Engineer Dr. Grace Mudupeola Amusho. She is a scholarly researcher and also the head of the Department of Civil Engineering at the Olapisi Onabanjo University of Agoiwe in Ogun State. Thank you so much for your time on the program.
Thank you.
And we wish you all the best in all your undertakings.
Okay, thank you.
And sincere appreciation to those people that will work together in the studios this lovely evening. Abiodun Adelodun is the producer, not leaving out the executive producer, Tony Sugarson. Francis Show has been the man in charge of the ICT, and Adetop Adebon has been pressing the right buttons as the sound manager. Kudos also to Kemi Shufolawe Chuku from behind scene. Mitope Babalola. Engineering and You is proudly supported the branch. Please do have a beautiful evening and please do join us at past 6 next week Monday. Bye for now. Thank you very much.